Hi, welcome. So, this is a little bit different format. I am going to do a reflection on A Course in Miracles, which is a book that's been coming more and more into my awareness over the past year. And I said, well, there's so much to say about this. And it's only day one of my study of this book. So it's like, where's this going to lead? So, a little bit of backstory. Some of you may already be familiar with A Course in Miracles. It's been around since the 70s, I think, and maybe it was channeled between the 60s and 70s and then finally published in the 70s. And it's a woman who's basically channeling the energy of Jesus, and then just her partner here is transcribing everything she says. And so that's the gist of what A Course in Miracles is. It's not a religious text. It's anything but religion. It's more on the spirituality side, which resonates with me because I'm not like such a fan of dogma and doctrine and the rigid nature that sometimes religions like will kind of add their filter on to texts like this. So I've gone in and out of like going to church and exploring like where I fit with it, like how much religiosity do I want in my life. And now where I am today is I pray to spirit, to something greater than myself. I obviously can't even know what that is, but to me I have now a direct relationship with spirit and how it moves through me, which is an endless journey also. And so this really spoke to me because it's not based in doctrine or dogma. It is based in a message that has been channeled through somebody. So anybody can go channel Jesus, or other ascended masters, or, you don't even have to believe in all that stuff, but it is a channeled text. And you think of like works of art. It's like all works of art are channeled from like our higher self, or, it's like, it's kind of like that idea. So anyway, it's been coming into my awareness through like media that I've been watching. I'd watch a podcast and they mention it. I'd read something and it's mentioned. And it's just like, I keep paying attention to like the power of 3 or more. It's like, if something comes into my awareness from a few different routes in a short period of time, it's like, am I supposed to look at that? Yes. And so I got really curious. Well, fast forward to this Christmas, and my husband's family, they like to give gifts. So they're like, make a list. Everybody makes a list. I can't make a list because I'm like, I don't need anything. And so, I always need stuff for my massage studio, but I had literally just finished spending all this, extra money getting my new studio up and running. I had to move like last year from one studio to the next, and I decided to buy a bunch more stuff. So anyway, but that was done, and I was like, oh, now I don't need anything else. And then I was like, the book. And I'm like, they could give me that. And so I told them that, and sure enough, it came to me thanks to his family. And also, they are ultra Catholic. And so I was like, ooh, what would it be like to ask for this from his very Catholic traditional family? They're lovely. I have nothing against Catholicism or other belief systems, obviously, but it was like a little like spark of, ooh, will they have thoughts about this? Will they have feelings about this? Will they even know what it is? And then it could spark a conversation. Like, I always want a way in to like learn more about people. And it's like, what makes you want, like, what it makes you so in to a certain thing. Well, they are so into Catholicism. And so I was like, what is that all about? So I thought, ooh, by asking for that, I mean, I could go buy it myself, it's not crazy expensive. And I'm like, but if I ask for it from people who have a different belief set, a belief system, will that spark something? Some fun conversation, getting to know each other from a different angle. So I opened the book in front of them and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then, we're like sitting around, people are opening presents, and then I flipped to like the introduction, and my husband's dad was sitting behind me, and I was like, it was a kind of lull in the activity, so I was like, hey, you want to read the introduction? And it's very short. And he read it and he handed it back to me, and he's like, oh, I forgot the exact words. He just looked at me, he's like, sounds like it'll be very thought-provoking. It's like it was so cute, because in that moment I realized, oh, he just bought it without looking into it. He just thought, oh, she wants it, here you go. The word miracle is in it. It's probably can't all be that bad. I don't think he investigated it further. Me, if I was buying a book for someone, I'd be like, yeah, what's this all about? Like, I'd get, well, I love books, so maybe that's just me. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that part of me was a little mischievous in asking for it, like, ooh, ulterior motives. and like the greater good, hopefully, sense of things. Like, I want to get to know him more. I want to spark a conversation. Sorry, there's a cat here. Hi, Labrador. Come in. Your chair's waiting for you. The other one. Nope. Okay. You want to stay on the floor. So anyway, what I thought I would do is, I'm just now embarking on this, and it's still January 1st. And I thought, well, I read a little bit, since Christmas. And then I thought, you know what? That was just to like get grounded in it. Like, what is this all about? How is the book structured? There's like 3 parts, so I have little kind of janky bookmarks here, but I made a special bookmark for it because I love making bookmarks. So the bookmark I made has these dried flowers, rose petals from, I think it was Valentine's Day or our anniversary? Ooh. Anyway, we went out to dinner. They give you a rose. They give everybody a rose. Doesn't matter if it's your anniversary. And I dried the petals at some point, laminated them, chopped them up, put it on this red piece of paper, and the phrase I have a P touch, like, oh, those are so fun. So it says, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. And that was part of the introduction that I had his dad read. And I think that's what intrigued him. The rest was pretty straightforward. So anyway, I took some time between Christmas and New Year's to like understand the structure of the book. And I thought, okay, there are 365 lessons. This is like a book intended for you to do it from like over the course of 1 year, do a lesson a day. Now the text, which is up here, is like 600 and some pages, and I thought, okay, divided by 365 days in a year, I could read about 2 pages a day to get through it and not go too fast, because sometimes I'm like, and then I'm like, what did I read? So I thought, let's be very intentional about this. This, I think, is going to be a really powerful read and study. And just by glancing through it, it's not so much, it's not religion. It's not even like, I guess spirituality, that's a loaded word. But initially, it's like this path toward oneness in the exploration of duality It's like training you in non-duality. And I was like, oh, yes, that's what I want. Like, I've gotten glimpses of it for a while. More recently, oh my God, there was this, we went to see our youngest son. He's my stepson. I have 3 stepkids. They're all boys. So I just call them our kids. But so it's my husband, like the youngest is a senior in high school. And we went to see his singing performance. It's called Madrigals. It's like a lot of schools have it. It's like where they dress up and act and sing in like this Renaissance style flair. And so I don't know what was happening, but that was one of my biggest glimpses of non-duality. Like, it surprised me. I don't even know if I can talk about it yet because it's still unfolding. I feel a little like, ooh, be careful, because you know how when something's so fresh and new, like a tender little baby, first of all, you don't want to talk it away. And also, things evolve. So it's like how I feel about it now is just like the little baby stages. And it's just, it's going to bloom through this diligent, daily, intentional, purposeful study. It's going to be amazing. Not to put too much expectation on it. But, like something like I've studied, like there are non-duality teachers online or whatever, and I love listening to them talk about it because I catch glimpses of it, and I'm like, what's it like? What's the experience like? Well, most of them will say it's really hard to talk about. You can't really use words to understand it, to communicate it. Well, in that moment, when I went to this event, I was like, oh my God. It was like, bam, right in the face. And I was like, no, you can't talk about it. Anyway, that's a whole side thing. So I'm just going to save it because I still feel like a fresh newborn baby with it. Like, I conceptually and in my heart believe in the oneness of all of us. Like, I am you, you are me, we are we. Oh, like I feel it. And then there's a whole other level of like, you're in your sensory experience, it's there. And then they say like it settles in or it stabilizes at some point more and more. Well, for me, it's not quite stable yet. I catch glimpses. And that's where I'm like, I can't even talk about it. Well, what I'd like to do is every day, if possible, I don't know if I'll stick to like daily because honestly, that takes time. And to really integrate the lessons, I want to give it its due, like justice. So, but I did do lesson 1 and I've been practicing it, and I read more than 2 pages of the text, but I made myself stop at 8. So I'm a little ahead of the game there. And the text doesn't correspond to the lessons. It's like you do whatever you want. I could breeze through the whole 600 and some pages and then do the lessons day by day. But what I'm going to do is a little bit of reading of the text and then 1 lesson a day. So like tonight, here we are on January 1st. Last night I reread the lesson and the text and then thought about it. And then I've been practicing it today. And then I want to, now that it's the end of the day, do a reflection on that. And so that's the goal. That's biting off a lot considering I work full time and I'm starting like doing these like intuitive readings, and I want to add one-on-one intuitive readings to my practice. So didn't I mention at one point I was a workaholic? In my old life. In this iteration of life, I don't want to be a workaholic, right? I used to have more money than time because of that. Now I have more time than money, and I want to be really purposeful with my time. And then hopefully money comes, but it's like, that's not the point. So anyway, and this is definitely not about money. I don't know why I said that, but it was like, because like in the past I had no time to do anything because I kept myself so exhausted with work, and then the money would come in. As a consultant, you're just like on the road, off at clients in other states half the year. Like I was never home with my fur babies and my husband. And did you hear that gurgle come from my throat? Because it was right here. And so I'm really appreciating having more time than money now. And so I don't feel like this will be too exhausting. I don't feel like I'm going to sacrifice anything to do this. If I don't do it every day, that's totally fine. That's my new phase of life. If I don't do it every day, it'll be fine. Did I tell you I'm a Scrum Master also? That has really cured me. Like I did it for my old job of like running giant like technology projects, like scrum, like iterate, minimum viable product, lay a foundation, like start to finish, bare bones, whatever will work, and then you build onto it and make it better, refine. That's how I am in my new life, but without the technology. So now it's like, try something out, start to finish, make it better. I don't know how I got there. Anyway, I think this is all related. Everything else. So what I would like to do is kind of reflect on the lesson for this first lesson, and then I did some journaling while I was, I have this giant bruise here. It hurts. I hit it on I got aggressive when I was taking laundry out of the washer and putting it in the dryer, and I was like, and now it hurts. So I did some journaling and of just like snippets of the things that really stood out to me from the text that really made an impact or made me go, whoa, trippy, that sort of thing. And I'd like to keep doing that and incorporate it into these little reflections about the lesson. So some of these videos, I think it'll be like part lesson, what the lesson is and what came up as I integrated it, and then a little bit about what stood out to me in whatever text I read that night, the day before. So with that, I have a couple other things here just in case we go there, but what I'd like to do is start with the lesson, and then it's not giving anything away. You can go buy your own copy, or you can be like, this doesn't interest me at all, click, goodbye, and that's fine too. But I thought if people are like it's kind of like a book club. If you want to study together, wouldn't that be fun? And if you're farther ahead than me, you can comment and be like, I remember when I did lesson 1. Ooh, you're in for a ride. So lesson 1, so it's part 1, lesson 1. Here it is. Nothing I see in this room, and then in brackets it says on this street, comma, from this window, comma, in this place, bracket, means anything. So basically nothing I see in this room means anything. Okay, when I read that, I was like, I'm in. You got me hooked from lesson 1. Then it's like, now look slowly around you and practice applying this idea very specifically to whatever you see. I'm not going to read this word for word, but the idea is like, this table does not mean anything. This hand does not mean anything. That camera does not mean anything. I don't mean anything. Whoa, I didn't try that one yet. That feels a little weird. Like you just keep like that cat doesn't mean anything. And so what this is pointing to, in my opinion, is like I think this is the next lesson, so I don't want to go there because I peeked ahead. I'm naughty. It's like we give things their meaning. Like this thing, like itself, without anyone injecting meaning into it, like it doesn't mean anything. It's just an object. And then I was like, this is a book in non-duality. It's saying like, It's a thing to be experienced. I mean, it means a lot of different things, which means it doesn't mean anything. So what it reminded me of was one of my favorite poems that has stuck with me, and I made bookmarks with a phrase on it. Like, the phrase I pulled out of the poem is, which I paraphrased it a little bit just to fit it on my bookmark, was, "All things rest in the shade of their names." Oh. I'm going to read the poem to you. It is beautiful in that trippy way of making you realize, like, what we as a human bring into things. Like, it's like we infuse things with meaning, but it's like on its own, what does it mean? It's a pen. But then it's like all things rest in the shade of their names. Who even named this a pen? In French, it's called something else. I should have said Spanish because I know. I forgot what pen is in Spanish. Oh my God, I forgot what pen is in Spanish. Pencil is lapis, I think. Anyway, these are just sounds we make just so that we can have we can communicate about this thing. Like, pretend you're a brand new baby and you're like, whoa, oh my God. And then pretend you're a little bit older but still haven't mastered the use of language, and you're like, I can do stuff with it. It has usefulness, and I can, look, it makes colored lines. What? And so it's like, but it still doesn't mean anything. It just has, it's like a thing. And then I found out, oh my God, it has usefulness to me. I can like create art, and I can communicate with it. I can enjoy the feel of it, the color. Man, I do love that pen. So it's like, but what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. I could say it brings me joy and comfort, and it makes me feel fancy because I actually bought an expensive pen because I love to write, and I'm like, I've never bought an expensive pen before. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not ultra expensive, but it made me realize, like, I want to take care of this. It's special to me now. And it's like, why? It's just a pen. It's a thing that's resting in the shade of its name called pen. I don't think I'm doing this enough justice, but I think you get the point. So it's like training ourselves to look around and saying, inherently, there's no meaning in these objects. It came out of someone's brain. Somebody was like, I'm gonna create a pen because I like creating pens. It's a passion of mine. And then it kind of came out of their head and went bloop into reality through the magic of production assembly lines and people and design software and ink and all the things that like had to come together to bloop it out into reality. But it started in here in somebody's brain. But even through all of that, it still didn't have meaning. It was just somebody wanting to manifest an object for usefulness and to make themselves some money. So those are the thoughts that were swirling around in my head. The poem, I have to read you if you want to hang in for a minute. It's not very long at all. And I brought out this book because I love this book so much. It's been around the world with me. It was gifted to me. There was stuff in it when it was gifted to me, and I kept it there. Like, there's other notes in here from somebody, pages turned down, my own bookmarks added, and scribbles everywhere. And so I love this book. When I left the US, this is a different story, and I only had a backpack. This was one of the things I took in my backpack. It's like, oh my God, I'm giving it meaning. This doesn't mean anything. See, I'm not very good at this lesson. I love meaning. This might be a hard book for me. I love making meaning. Okay, so the poem is called, again, Spanish. Oh, Spanish. It's called Entre irse y quedarse, which means between leaving and staying, but I don't care for this translation as much. Sorry. The other one online is more beautiful. It says Between Going and Staying by Octavio Paz. Or Octavio Paz. So between going and staying, the day wavers, in love with its own transparency. The circular afternoon is now a bay where the world in stillness rocks. All is visible and all elusive. All is near and can't be touched. Paper, book, pencil, glass rest in the shade of their names. Time throbbing in my temples repeats the same unchanging syllable of blood. The light turns the indifferent wall into a ghostly theater of reflections. I find myself in the middle of an eye, watching myself in its blank stare. The moment scatters, motionless. I stay and go. I am a pause. Period. Oh, I love that poem so much. All things rest in the shade of their names, which means, it just drives the point home that doesn't have meaning, that doesn't have meaning. The names we give things is the beginning to the meaning we start to layer onto it. The joy it brings me, the usefulness, something I can do with it that brings me joy or makes me feel productive or, powerful or whatever. And it's like, when we really look around, there's no meaning here. There's no meaning. And in that, I find immense freedom. Just like such rawness to the life experience. We're here to just experience with our senses, our sight, our hearing, taste, smell, and then our sixth sense. That's what it makes me think of. So, man, it's beautiful. I think for now, I might reflect on this other stuff. It's really the very, in another video, keep this short. What's really neat is that the very first chapter opens with is it 50? Yeah. It's 50 bullet points numbered about what miracles are, what they do, what they don't do. And so I love that. It's 50 things. And then I just highlighted which numbers really grabbed me. And I think one of them that I will talk about is something I think I mentioned in another video, and it's number 8. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less. When you think about it, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's a miracle. And it's it really falls into that simple description. if I temporarily have more and I gift you something that you temporarily have less of, and it's like, that's a miracle. Like, it's so simple. Man. Oh, the other one, we're just going to go straight to 50. Man, this was so good. Another just simple, practical. It's like it's like logical. It's like the miracle compares what you have made with creation, accepting what is in accord with it as true and rejecting what is out of accord as false. That was like, the miracle compares what you have made with creation. So it's comparing. So let's say that I've made, and what it means with made with creation, I take it to mean like, what have I done with my life? What have I manifested through my intention or lack of? And the miracle accepts what is in accord with it as true and rejecting what is out of accord as false. So a miracle really is like, it's like trimming everything away that is not of creation. And it's like accepting all that is in alignment with creation. I need to meditate on this some more. I just am not doing any of these justice the way it actually hit me. Man. And that's okay, because it doesn't mean anything. There's a whole bunch more here, but I just obviously need to think on this some more. I might have to reread this like 5 times. And it talks about time, and I'm time obsessed. I love thinking about time and how miracles are like outside of time. They're a time travel and time control device, because it's like, I can't explain it. You're going to have to read it. What I'd like to do, for some reason, Spirit Song Tarot came out, and I thought, you know what? Let's just do a little bedtime reading, like card pull with this beautiful Spirit Song Tarot deck. Look, I even have a little heart-shaped gem on there, or crystal that a friend gave me. And I don't know, we'll just like feel into this idea of miracles and starting this, what seems like it's going to be a pretty profound journey for me. And just like, thank you for letting me share that with you. It's also a way for me to, like, as I speak things, I feel them. Sometimes if I just read it, yeah, it hits me, but I don't quite know what I think about it till I start saying words. It's probably not the healthiest way to go through life. I don't know, but it seems to be working for me. And so this can be sort of like my video diary of how this book is speaking to me and through me, you know? So if you want to come along for the journey, let's do it. I'll just label these videos, and I'll probably have to do some with my phone, not here in my little space, you know, because of the interest of time. I bet some are going to be pretty short and on the fly with like a Snapchat filter or something. And so I think I'm just going to label them in YouTube like ACIM, like A Course in Miracles. It seems like that's a lot of people abbreviated that way. And like just name them like Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Reflection. I don't know, that sounds good. And again, Scrum Master, we're just going to do one and then improve upon it. So what I'd like to do is set as an intention that really it's like, is there a message about this journey we're embarking on? Like, I don't know. I always like to ask for direction, and like more like I kind of have a direction, but like, hey, you might want to think about this or this as you go along. And that's kind of what I'm asking here. I'm really curious what Spirit might say. Yeah, make sure you just think about this also. Thank you. Page of Crystals. Ideas, discipline. I was just talking about the discipline of a daily practice and having ideas about it. And they renamed the suits. So like the Page of Crystals is oh my god, I forgot which one that is. I'll have to look in the book. Anyway, the King of Acorns, optimism and innovation. And the Two of Acorns, insight and focus. So on the bookends here, ideas and discipline, insight and focus. It's like these are the same thing. Ideas and insight, discipline and focus. That's so fascinating. Wow. And then King of Acorns is optimism and innovation. Oh, I just got some starts to some chills. So like the bookends being like, this is the daily practice. I'm going to have ideas through like and discipline. It's like through this focus and intention. And what's going to emerge out of it is optimism and like innovative ideas and like newness will come about. Like innovation. I love that. Because it's not just like regurgitating ideas. It's like something new will be birthed through this practice. I love that. I mean, that's what I'm going with. But I would like to say, like, the crystals, because I haven't used this much, oh, yeah, here we go, what the suits are. Crystals are, oh yeah, it's in place of pentacles. Okay, gotcha. Crystals are pentacles. Acorns are wands. Pentacles, wands. I have to remember that. Pentacles and wands. Okay, got it. So what I want to look at is the Page of Crystals, just to see if there's any little nugget here. Clever fox is a master at problem solving. Grounded and focused, he emerges from the edge of the forest as your guide in working with your ambitions and ideas. His keen sense of observation is a powerful tool when it comes to dealing with everyday matters and setting events into motion. Fox will show you the way to transition to a pathway of accomplishment and take charge. You've been working hard. Continue to use your resources wisely and remain enthusiastic about your passions. Opportunities to develop new ideas will manifest if you concentrate on your pursuits. Yep, like we were talking about. Set goals, consistent productivity, new ideas, opportunities, study, discipline, meeting success. Yeah, that's kind of what we thought. I'm going to bookmark this because no, we're not. That's a different one. Acorns. Again, I don't know what order these are in. Here we go. So basically wands. So if I said Page of Pentacles, that's that page that's like here's your gift. And the Two of Acorns, if we think Two of Wands, come here. Oh my goodness. There we go. A messenger on a mission. Falcon is focused on her target. In search of new experiences, she sets her sights confidently on what she wants. Falcon is the victorious insignia for foresight and vision. Her power of insight gives her the ability to make choices that create balance and integration within her world. That word, integration, I love it. Now is because I keep thinking about, it's not just about studying the lessons, it's about integrating them into my daily life, which is why I want to read them the night before, practice them all day, and then reflect on it. It's like that whole process is, to me, kind of a quick integration if I'm going to try to do a daily practice. So now is the time to manifest your ideas into form. You hold the power within to take flight in a new direction. Yeah, this is new. Recognize your full potential. Go forth courageously and stand by your decisions. Persevere and you will achieve your goals. Decisions, planning, insight, progress, boldness, focus, goals attained. Whew. Okay, lastly, now, if these are the bookends, which is all about that daily practice, discipline, focus, having ideas about it. King of Acorns says optimism and innovation, energetic and charismatic. Horse, yeah, that's a horse. Horse is a visionary with a dynamic demeanor. This fireball of a spirit will demonstrate how to discover your own freedom and embrace your greatest potential. Don't hold back. Pursue the path of horse by fashioning your natural leadership qualities and celebrate your ever-shifting awareness of your spiritual expansion. That's what it's all about. Your ever-shifting awareness of your spiritual expansion. I hope you come on this journey with me. Like horse, you encompass a strongly burning fire within, and you have a greater ability to adapt than you may realize. Behold your unique voice and let loose your wild spirit. Strength, innovation, enthusiasm, optimism, spirited, energetic, fiery, strong principles, leadership, perseverance. Well, I know. Thanks for listening. We basically intuited all those meanings without having to read it, but I did like some of those little gems of like the words, you know, like the spiritual expansion. You know, it's that's why I love to read the books. It's like there's always words that there's a cat that really are like, yes, I didn't say those words, but that's what I was feeling. So anyway, this is like a confirmation that all of this diligence, the daily practice and focus and really thinking about the content, not just reading and being like, I got stuff to do, bye. Like really thinking about it, integrating it, it's going to lead to that spiritual expansion. That's the whole reason I wanted to bring it into my life. Another avenue for spiritual expansion. That's amazing. So anyway, I think that's about it. I really would love to go through more of the miracles that really resonated with me, but that's okay. I can do that another time. So this is lesson 1, and I look forward to tonight. I'm going to read lesson 2 and then practice it all day tomorrow and just see what happens. They say to only practice it like morning and evening. At least this one they did. So it's like you don't want to overdo it and it becomes some sort of weird ritual. It's like, no, just like start to do it. These are baby steps. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope you come along on this journey. It's going to be, I think it's going to be transformational. And that's my number this year. Number 5 for 2025 is full on change and transformation. So, all right. Good night.